Welcome back to Intentional Parenting here at Mariners Church. My name is Jared, and I'm so excited about hanging out with these two guys who I love so much. We are going to spend some time talking about them being new dads in ministry, but more specifically in youth ministry. And so, Chris and Will, thank you guys for being here. Yeah. Why don't we take a few minutes and just talk to me about like what's going on in your home? Who are you? How many kids do you have? How long you've been married? Just give us the background, all of that stuff. Chris, why don't you go first?
The whole thing. All right. So my name is Chris. I'm the high school pastor here. It's almost 5 years for me, and I've been doing youth ministry for a while now, over a decade. So I've been in it, married to my wife, Jessica, and we just celebrated 9 years, which is a big deal for us. We have two girls. Eden is going to be 4 soon, and Emmy, our little one, she is almost 1.
Okay.
So we have a Bluey healer family, 2 girls, 2 little girls thing going on. We love it. Yeah.
Okay. Married 9 years. You have a 4-year-old. So you had about 5 years before Eden came along.
Yep.
Okay. And then you said Emmy is almost 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She's a sweet girl.
Good. So you need a nap. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Will?
Yeah, so my wife Marla and I have been married for just under 3 years. We have a 1-year-old son named Nixon, and we have a baby girl on the way coming in about a month and a half.
Yeah.
So we're gearing back up for it, but I get the privilege of being the junior high pastor here, and been doing youth ministry for over 5 years now, and was previously in high school ministry and now stepping into junior high, which I'm really excited about.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking about youth ministry in just a little bit. Before we get down that road, I want to just spend some time talking about being dads. Like this is the first episode where it's just dudes in the room.
Let's do it.
And so we can have some real talk about what it feels like to be a dad, to figure out how to parent our children as God is doing some stuff in our life as well. Will, so I love this, right? So Will worked with Chris for a number of years on high school ministry, about a year and some
Almost
change?
2.
Almost
Yeah.
2. Okay. Yeah. So
And then you left me.
yeah. Well, I think I'm
so
well,
sorry.
I don't know. He left you. Let's go with that narrative.
Okay.
That's another conversation.
He left you. How does that feel? No, so Chris runs high school ministry here at our Irvine congregation, and Will was working as the high school director there, and moved over to be junior high pastor just a few weeks ago now, right?
Not too long ago.
So super fun working with Josh and Jenna and Michelle, just an incredible team in junior high ministry. So okay, you've got about a 1-year-old,
Yes.
and you're about to do it again.
Yes.
How are you feeling right now?
Man, it's reliving all of those sleepless nights just over in my head. I think I was just talking to someone recently where I was like, it's this mix of total excitement and total totally scared, of knowing the realities of being in that first 4 to 5 months is just a lot. And so I think my wife and I are like over the moon excited. She's kicking, we can feel it. And so we're getting really close on it, but we're also just like, all right, game on. Like it's round 2, but we're so ready and excited, but definitely like living those really hectic moments, and knowing that the reality and the dynamic is going to change really soon. So
yeah, it will.
Yeah.
It will. So you're living in this place where Nixon, so much love for him.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't be happier with
Totally.
where you've gotten so far. And yet now you're looking at the next one coming down going, can I love this one as much as the first?
Yeah.
And are we really ready to not sleep again and deal with all of the things in that?
Yes.
Like you're going to finish a first year and then start a first year.
Yes.
At least Chris and I, when our kids are about the same age gap, we took a break.
Yes.
That's called wisdom.
Yes.
You have a nice type grouping here.
He's running it back right away.
We're doing it again. It's like a Super Bowl team. We're like, should we run it back one more year? Like,
Yeah.
let's
Let's
do
go.
it.
I
right?
guess so.
Yeah, I mean, this was, Marla and I decided that when we got married, we wanted to have kids quickly, and we wanted to build our family, and we wanted to be young parents, and we just said we wanted to step into it. And my wife, I married up so big, where she is just been such a gift to me, and even just teaching me what it looks like to be a dad and to be a parent. And so most of the confidence in number 2 is because of Marla, because I know that she's just been such a gift to me in this process. But yeah, I mean, we're we're in it. We're ready. So
I love it.
I'd like to say I'm ready. I'm probably not, but we'll
You're
see.
aware.
Yes,
right.
we're
You're aware of what it's
Yeah.
like. You know what you're doing again.
Yeah.
And yet it is a different child.
Totally.
Right. So that there is uniqueness to that. If you have multiples,
Yep.
There are similarities. They basically are going to need to eat, sleep, and poop, but they are different, right? Those kids come preloaded with a few things that you got to figure out.
Totally.
So, so about a year in, a little, you're on your way. You're a pro now, Will. Chris is a veteran. Let me just take you guys back a little bit. I'm hoping that this episode will be one where maybe we can share with some people in our lives around becoming a new dad, right? This is one where I think there's a spectrum of emotions of what comes with finding out you're going to be a first-time father. I know it messed with me immensely. I'm really curious what happened with you guys. And so, Chris, why don't you jump in and just share what was it like becoming a dad for the first time?
Mm-hmm.
Even was there a moment or maybe a season in which you went, oh man, I am very much feeling like a dad in this moment. Like it happened. The transformation was complete.
Yeah, Jessica and I, we prayed through a lot leading into our first child. We even went through a season of, should we even have kids, which almost was a shock to the both of us. And we really prayed through that. And so leading up, I feel like we were so convicted about having our first. But the moment I really felt like a dad, I think I've shared the story with you, Will, but we had our daughter at Kaiser, and our daughter came a month early.
Okay.
So we were totally shocked. She's like on the edge of being a preemie. And then right after she was born, there's like 12 nurses in the room. So because it's a whole thing, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right when she comes out, the head nurse stops the whole room and pauses and says, "We need to pray." So then she laid her hand on me. She almost like knew this was a moment that I needed as a dad, for reals. She put her hand on my shoulder and said, "We need to pray." So then she prayed for, "Thank you for the gift of this child. May she be healthy. Be with this father. Allow him to love her and to care for his wife and to model what it looks like to be in a loving relationship." And then she ended the prayer, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I almost felt like the weight of, dude, I'm a dad right now. Like it hit really fast, and it came sooner than I thought. And so I almost think I needed that.
Yeah.
But I really felt the weight of it, because even leading up to that, I don't have a great relationship with my dad. And so I had to process a lot of stuff about that. And I wanted to be a great dad, even if I didn't have the best role model. I still have God, our Heavenly Father. And so that was the moment where I was like, whoa, I'm going to do it. I'm going to need a lot of help. Lord, help me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there some of that relationship with your own dad? Is that what caused the hesitancy before thinking about having kids?
I knew it was probably good for us to wrestle through that. I wanted kids way sooner. And then I think we were like, why have kids? And then just because everybody else is having kids, or we think we're going to be more mature. And then we're like, yeah, wait, why are we doing this? And then we did a lot of praying together. So some of it was that. The other part was, are we just doing it because everybody has kids? Like we wanted to do it for the right reasons. We wanted our hearts to be in the right place.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
What was the turning point then where you went, I think we should? Maybe what was the motivation or the reason behind that? Since you brought up, those are some really big themes already right there.
Totally. Even we were actually going through Tim Keller's devotional, and I think it was our annual read at that point. But we were reading through so many different things, and I love Keller and all his writing about children and all the passages that I started to look at when it comes to building a family and kids. Is they're a blessing. They're God's gift. We have the honor to train and raise them. This is our calling. And I know not every couple is able to, and there's so many different circumstances, but we just felt so convicted by that. And we're like, if we can, let's do it. God has a beautiful vision for what this could look like, and we want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So then that matched with this really incredible and sort of unlikely moment in the delivery room with a nurse choosing to commission you as a dad.
So cool.
I mean, that is so wild.
It was a
Rad.
God moment.
Go
Seriously.
Kaiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know this nurse at all?
She was at some of the appointments that we went to, but
Okay.
I don't think she like particularly knew us very deeply.
That's wild.
She just sensed it. I don't
Man.
know.
So
Wow.
cool.
I kind of wish that happened in
Yeah.
every one of those moments, because it's
Seriously.
it's chaotic. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's just so much to even have that moment of presence of
Yeah.
we need to slow down right now and just acknowledge what's happening, a prayer of commissioning, and then boom, you're a dad.
Yeah.
And you've
Exactly.
crushed it every day since. So congratulations.
I don't know about that.
You're
but
doing a great job, Chris. Such a high bar.
seriously.
Will, did you have a moment where you realized, oh man, I am a dad?
Yeah, I mean, in a really funny sense, and my wife knows this, it's that first diaper change where it's just like, I'm like,
Dude.
which is the back and the front side? Like, I was like, okay, it actually says it on their back. I'm like, okay, at least that's going to help me moving forward. But that first kind of diaper change and everything like that. But Nixon also had a very interesting beginning as well, where when he was in his first day, he had a seizure, and then we eventually went to chalk from there and realized that it was as a result of a stroke that he had when he was born. And so we spent the first month in the NICU of just, we didn't leave. We stayed there for, I think it was close to a month. And so we were at that time, I mean, it hits you really quickly of, I'm leaving my wife at the hospital. She's still recovering. I'm in an ambulance with my son going to
Jeez.
chalk. And it's, I mean, and right away we're separated as a family. And
Yep.
so you take that dad hat and you don't get to put it on. It gets put on for you. Like you are the dad. You are now in charge. You are taking care of this kid. And it was one of the more challenging times for us for sure, because we stayed there overnight every night. And this was, I mean, I've never heard so many beepings, so many. We know what the codes are. It's code blue. It's code red. Like we knew everything because we were there. And man, we actually had one of the doctors in particular come up to us. We had been there for 3 weeks, and he sat us down and he started crying, and he said, "You guys are just doing the most amazing job. Please go home.
Wow.
Like please take care of yourself. The best thing you can do for your kid right now is to be well yourself."
Wow.
And for us, that was like, we had been in crazy hectic. We're going and he's getting this scan and this done and this blood work. And he was just like in tears, just like, the best thing you can do for him is to take care of yourselves. Wow. And we went home one day and got a shower and we took a nap and
right back.
And then we were like, we got to go, we went right back. But sometimes, what the real moment of being a dad sometimes is the ability to say what's best for my kid is also just me and my wife taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know that story.
Yep.
But I think I had forgotten the intensity of what that month must have felt like to be thrown into your first child. And then that's the beginning of the story. What an experience of immediately feeling the responsibility and the burden of your son, caring for him while he can do nothing for himself.
Totally.
Right? And you're just at the mercy of what God is able to do through this hospital.
Yeah. And part of even the baby number 2 is just this struggle that we've had internally of, is this going to happen again?
Right.
And so I think for Marla, was it something that I did, right? Or is it something that has happened, and so I think part of it for us is, we've just been so prayerful through this process of, God, you are the one that ultimately gives life. And like Chris said, kids are such a blessing. And so it's so much for us right now as we're approaching number 2 of taking that posture of, Lord, you are the giver of life. And it's, there's so many things that are out of your hands in that delivery and that process where we've constantly had to redirect our focus back to the Lord and not to worrying and being anxious. But it has been a challenge for us being completely honest, to find ourselves back there and not go down those rabbit trails of the what ifs when it comes to, number 2 and the delivery process and all those things coming off of what we had with Nixon.
Yeah. If you think to the time prior to having Nixon, what really changed in your relationship with Marla after becoming a dad? Like where was their growth? Where was their change? Even up until now? Because I think this is a powerful thing you're talking about, of the remembrance of what that one was like, the kind of perhaps maybe guilt or shame that she's carrying around. Did I do something that caused this? I mean, those are some really powerful emotions.
Totally.
So what's changed in your guys' marriage?
Yeah. I mean, I think first and foremost, like we made the decision before we had Nixon that before anything, our marriage was going to come first. Now, did we fully know what that meant going into having a first kid? Like, no, right? But we always said before anything else, like it starts here. And so, we had a rhythm before Nixon came of having like a night that we would spend together. As even before kids, your life is busy, but the busy, that word changes when you have kids. Mm-hmm. And so for us, it was a consistent Tuesday night, and we still have kept that rhythm, which has been really beautiful.
Great.
I think another big thing for our family has been our consistent rhythm coming to the 5:30 service, which, I mean, it's
shout out 5:30.
5:30.
Hey.
It truly, like, I am fully like convinced, like it has been just the biggest blessing for our family. It's for our family, not me, not Marla, and not Nixon, all of us.
Yeah, it's great.
Because it's time Marla and I get a chance to be in the service together. Nixon, I mean, we have so many high school students that serve in his classroom. I have now begun to even understand at a deeper level the importance of the leader, the church leader in his life. Like I walked by a couple days ago and I saw one of his leaders, his name's Daniel. And I go, hey man, like, how is Nixon today? It's totally changing. So I think for our marriage, for me and Marla, like it's prioritizing time together, but also prioritizing like that we're also growing together in our weekly life group. But our 5:30 service is like our special time that we have to be together as well. And we know that like we check into Nixon's class and he's saying Abraham. They're like, he said Abraham, and we're like, this is great. Like what's he doing? So we know he's learning. Like people there love him, and it's good for our marriage. And so those rhythms have been really helpful, and we try to hold that as near and dear as possible.
I so badly want that to be his first word.
I know, right? You're like, is that it? Is that it? But they're like, it's a 3-syllable word. How is he saying that?
It's the pastor's kid syndrome. The first word is going to be a Bible word. So.
Absolutely.
Well, keeping your marriage as the priority, I do think, is the surefire way to ensure that the whole family is happy and healthy, right? Yep. Even now, my oldest is 14. I greet my wife first when I walk in the door. Yep. I mean, it is that's 90% of the time, right? It's like I'm going to, and it models for them that when I'm saying hi, that's what there's a rank, if you will, you know?
Yes.
And it's not because my kids are less than, it's because I want them to see what a healthy relationship looks like, right? Totally. And they're an extension of that. So,
that's so
Chris,
great.
What about with you and with Jessica? Has there been any growth, change, anything like that sort of in your guys' marriage because of being a dad now?
Yeah, I think there's so much to figure out, because before you get married, there's so much to talk through, because that's such a new season. And so I'm doing premarital with some couples, and there's so many conversations to be had. And so I think it kind of felt the same becoming a parent. There's so much to talk about, so much to plan, and stuff you don't even anticipate. How do we discipline? How rigid are we going to be on sleeping or feeding, or like how do we really want to play this, and who's going to watch our kids? Who are we okay with? And so there were so many conversations to be had with her. And I mean, I'm so blessed because my wife's a therapist, so she really understands development, and she understands how the kid grows up, and their mental, like how their brain all these things that I don't typically know and think about. So when something happens, she'll be like, oh, this is a typical stage, like this is, and I'm like, I'm so frustrated, like but we'll be able to talk through
also a typical thing.
Yes, exactly. So I think we just had to, I mean, she's my best friend, and so there's still so much that we need to fight for when it comes to conversation, but there's so much to talk about when it comes to how to raise our kids, our family rhythms, our values. What are holidays going to look like? So I think it really intensified almost what we do, and made us super intentional about even culturally, how do we want to raise our kids? What language are they going to speak? There's so much to talk about. And I think we had to really hash through a lot of that. And some of it was, it took a lot of wrestling to get through some of that stuff.
Well, the good news is if your wife is your best friend and you enjoy time together, you want to build something together, you enjoy talking to one another, having a kid is maybe the best thing you can do because you will have so much to discuss and to think through.
Yeah, it feels like you're on mission together, you know, because you're like, okay, we're doing this, we're shaping these kids' lives. Yeah. Like, let's do our best. Yeah.
Totally. And your kid's 4. Yeah. Wait till later, my friend. What about with your relationship with God? Like what was shaped? What changed in how you related to him, or maybe even how, I know for me, you know, God being Father was not something that I really looked for because of my own relationship with Dad. That was not a thing that I wanted God to be, right? It just meant that he was eventually going to leave. Well, that was a redemptive thing for me, was when I had my own son, wrestling through how am I going to break this cycle? How am I going to build a new legacy with my child? God had to do that first with me. I had to become God's son, and he needed to become my father before I could figure out how to actually raise my own kid. So maybe not before, but it was definitely congruent in those first like 18 months, 2 years. It was a process for me. Did anything like that sort of click or change for you?
Yeah, I think a big milestone moment in not just my parenting, but in my life, I would say, is our Israel trip that we went on together. Yeah. And so we got to go before we couldn't go, but on that trip we went with a bunch of students. My wife was there, and you know, you go to this specific place to get a name, Gideon Springs, and so I felt like the name that God gave me in that season was beloved, and that really anchored down into, you know, 1 John chapter 3, you know, see the love of the Father who he gives to his children. And so thinking about that, I think prior to that, I really put my worth and identity and so much into my ministry or my performance. And so I would wake up really thinking like, okay, I need to do a great job today. Like I would wake up thinking that almost every day. And then after that trip, and really like wanting that name that God gave me to stick with me, I remember waking up after that almost every day saying, I'm loved by you because of Christ. It doesn't matter what I do today. I'm fully loved and accepted. I can go into today like being filled. Yes. You know, I can do that. And so that's shaped my relationship with my kids, because, you know, I'll drop off Eden and they have this like triathlon at her preschool. It's like just they ride a bike around a lap, but she thinks it's a race, you know, on that day. And she's like, Dad, I really want to win. And I'm like, okay, you can do your best, honey. And she really does her best. And I'm like, it doesn't matter though, you know? And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, if you win or lose, like, I still love you. Like, it doesn't matter to me. You know, I'm happy if you win. I'm happy if you lose it. You know, just do your best. And so it's really changed not just how I feel like God relates to me, my relationship with God, but it really impacts how I see my kids, how I want them to feel anchored and loved, whether they succeed or fail. Yeah.
So much in there.
Yeah. And so, man, I'm still trying to remember. It's really just preaching the gospel to yourself. You know, it really comes back to that. And it's, I know I'm going to maybe toggle back and forth with this, but, you know, I even seeing Eden go out to play a sport, you know, we signed up for a few weeks, or swimming, and she's not quite there. And part of me was like, oh, I want her to get there, but it's okay, you know. And I almost need to remind myself it's not in her performance. It's not in my performance. Like, I'm still loved, she's loved. It's wrestling through that.
It's really important stuff though, isn't it? I feel like those moments when we feel like our kids are not quite there, I go, and neither am I, you know, in different ways. And that's okay, because I want to remind myself that that God, our Father, is not displeased or frustrated. He's not looking at, I wish you were better. Because I don't look at my kid and go, I wish you were better.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, look, every way that we feel about our kid, I want to try to remember this is how I want God to feel about me in these moments. And it does tend to soften the edges on the frustration a little bit.
For sure.
Just a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
So as you guys think about this season, right, the early years of having kids, there's so many fun things. There's lots of chaotic stories, traumatic moments that sounds like both of you guys have lived through. As you think about what you want to remember in this season, like what are those things that you pull out that you go, as a new dad, as a young dad, like, kids or toddlers kind of in that preschool age, what do you want to hang on to in this season? What's the thing you want to remember?
Yeah, I mean, I think something that I've been trying to just grow in is maybe zooming out a little bit when I'm in the moment, because I think day to day when you're with a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, you're so right there, and it's hard to think about much more than just that, right? But then I think that's also going to be the moment that I miss, is the sweetness of the dependence and the time that I have with Nixon right now, and even as I think about, having a second kid join our family, that this season of having just one kid is just a season, and it's going to be here and gone. And so I think it's kind of like a weird little thing that I'm thinking through, but it's trying to zoom out and see that this is such a precious moment of total dependence on mom and dad, total one-on-one time with mom and dad, total, like, we're all in 24/7, that I just know as he gets older and goes to school and plays sports and, has friends and goes to college, like, it slowly goes away. And so the more and more I know, like, there are just days where you're just in it, and you're in hour 8 or 9 of just in the grind. You're changing diapers, you're setting up, putting them in their high chairs, all those things. It's those moments where I try to zoom out and I say, but this is going to be gone really quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to look back and be like, did I really enjoy that time the way that I should have? And so it's probably one of the hardest things to do, is to zoom out in the moment when they're, even when it's good. Sometimes you're like, yeah, but you might have other things that are competing for your mind space, like work and family, and maybe even you had an argument with like me and Marla got into it or something before, and it's like, all right, but I want to focus on Nixon right now too. So there's a lot of elements that go into it, but I think it's trying to recognize that the moments are short, this time period is quick, and it is a season, and it will go on. So
Yeah.
It's such a special season.
Yeah.
And it's kind of bizarre because, I mean, if you zoom out, they're going to forget so much of, like, their early years.
All of it.
Yeah. And they might have a few flashes, right?
Yes.
But for us, like, we're probably the same, but we take so many photos and videos of them, and then at night we're just like scrolling through and just looking back.
Oh, you guys are adorable.
No, but it's
that's
so
what
true.
it is, right?
It's so true. It's like it's so hard all day, and it's there's so much joy, but also so much, just like it takes a lot. But then 5 minutes after they're asleep, they're like, oh, but look what they just did. You know what I mean? And,
it's totally true.
It's the reset of, like, oh man, like another day, another day in the books, and there's good and there's bad.
Yes. And there's such a gift, because even as we bring our kids around, I'm sure you get this so much too, but so many people come up to us and they're like, they want to see our baby. They want, like, if they can hold a baby, it's like they're like, oh, like, this is so special. And so, like, I know Eric says this a lot to us, but when I look back, I really hope that I can be somebody who is really present. And so, when we work is sometimes more important than almost how much we work. And so, I do want to pour myself into ministry in what we do, but man, that the time window when they're awake, I want to be home. I want to be there. I want to be present. When I'm even at night, I have this habit of, like, sometimes I'm just trying to stay awake while it's like 2:30 in the morning. It's like literally like this morning, right? And part of me is like, I'm gonna barely stay awake. Should I grab my phone and just like almost have like look at my fantasy football team real quick, or like do I just put it away and just stare at my daughter's
You should
space.
check your fantasy football.
I probably do.
Honestly.
Yeah, I
really
need to move up in the rankings.
You would be doing better.
Yeah,
We have one in our youth in our youth office. So
it's close.
You have
Gotta
chosen
keep
the
that.
better. You have
Yes,
chosen
yes.
the better. Stare into your child's eyes.
Yeah, but just savoring that, right? Because
Yes.
it's so easy to get distracted by work or something else, and so just savoring that. I don't know.
You will never regret that.
Mm-hmm.
You never will. You'll never look back and think, man, I wish I had won that fantasy football league. No, I'm like, you're going to choose and realize this is so much better. Okay. I want to talk about youth ministry for the last few minutes that we have, because the unique thing about the three of us sitting together is when I was our junior high pastor, Asher was born. And when I was high school pastor, my daughter, Ellie, was born. So I know the world that you guys are in, and I know that the struggle of multiple nights out in a week and trying to make sure your family is doing great. I know what it feels like to be sleep deprived and also dealing with teenagers. I know all of the things that sort of come with you thought you know how to help raise teenagers, and then all of your perspective changes about parenting, and you look at parents completely different the minute you have kids. Like, it's such a wild thing, right? So let's do this. Give us a quick overview of just how our youth ministry operates. While somewhat similar, there are some uniquenesses in junior high and high school. So, Will, why don't you give us the flyover of junior high?
Yeah. So on a weekly basis, on our weekends, we have 5 services in junior high. So 2 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. And this is really a time for students to come and to invite friends, be a part of it. It's a really fun and engaging space where we have live teaching, live worship, some really fun games up top, and some enticing ways to bring new students. And we have a little bit of discussion time on the back end to kind of process really what was said in the service. And so we have that every weekend for junior high students. And then on Wednesday nights, we have youth night, which runs with high school on Wednesdays. And this is a space for junior hires to gather and to be poured into by 2 adult leaders that are caring and that we have said, please come in and be a part of this. And it really is such a transformative space, and a space where I truly believe like so much growth happens. Where we focus in on God's word, we focus in on the truths, and we allow students to. We don't always just give the answer right away. We want them to process through these emotions and these feelings and the truths that they are wrestling with, especially in today's world where they're being told so many different things. This is a place where we can ground them in truth, and so we have that. And part of some more opportunities we have is we have some great serve teams in junior high as well across the board with worship and production and welcoming. And we have a media team as well that does such a great job of capturing some of our students' stories. And so we don't want our students to just attend a weekend or just attend a Wednesday. Like, we want them to be actively serving in the church as well. It's so important to teach them early that it is good for your heart to serve. It is so good for your heart to serve. And even just last night, we got to participate in Seek the Good, which is starting really soon here at our church, and got to pack hygiene kits and explain the why behind what we do. And so I think our ministry does a really good job of not just say, hey, come to a Sunday. Sundays, come to a weekend. It's like, be in community, like, be plugged in, wrestle with those hard questions. Like, but don't stop there. Like serve, like, because this is why we serve, and be part of what we're doing in our local and global, initiatives and stuff like that. So really proud of our junior high ministry. I know I'm taking on a lot of it right now and just absorbing it, but just from this past month, like, I've been so impressed with the leaders and even our staff and just getting to know the students. But those are some rhythms in junior high.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
How about high school?
Yeah, very similarly. I think the difference would be on the weekend, we join the adults, and we have a student section here, all 5 services. We join the adults instead of have a high school service because we just believe in the long-term faith of students, and we know that the sooner they get integrated, the better it is for their faith.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
that's really what the research would say, right? That's as we really considered how we wanted our youth model to be. Coming out of Fuller Youth Institute, Kara Powell, a big picture of it is if you can,
sticky faith.
The sooner you can get those teenage students connected to the church, the broader church, the better they're going to do once they graduate.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we do that. We have groups on Wednesdays at youth night. We have a service here. It's an amazing time. We have fun and food truck and worship, teaching, life groups, which is small groups, serve team, same thing. It's so fun in high school, they're really developing the gifts that God has given them.
Yeah.
And so they're running the show. They are on stage hosting. They're making our Instagram posts. Like they're doing all the things.
Yep.
And it's so fun to see them run it instead of them watch us do the thing.
Totally.
And then a bunch of different ways for us to change the world too, which is just serving beyond the walls of our church. Like this Saturday we have Dancing Without Limits. We're going to be serving at that dance, which is almost like a prom for them, and students love that, right? And so it's so fun. We have Mexico trips, and so all the things. Yeah.
That's great.
Amazing. You guys, you both run such great youth ministries. I love that as our students get older, we move from just consuming to consuming and contributing. It really does help in the faith formation of what will become us someday.
Yeah.
People who are hopefully have a lifelong relationship with Jesus and want to contribute to the advancement of the kingdom in the world, right? And so you guys do a great job getting things started there. What would you say to parents of teenagers? You guys are now in a position where you're parents now. You don't have teenagers yourselves, but you do work with teenagers, right? So you get teenagers. In fact, I know, Chris, I've come to you to go, okay, if you want me to talk to teenagers, you got to help me, because I don't know exactly what's really going to resonate as deeply as I hope that it will. What would you say to the parents, just as you think about church rhythms and what you want for their students and how you want to come alongside them? So, Chris, if you want to jump in first.
Yeah, to the parent, I would say we have a beautiful space here to disciple your teenagers. And I'm sure being a parent of a teenager is not very easy. Being a teenager is hard. Being a parent of a teenager is hard. And we would love to be another voice to echo what you're saying and what you're doing and pointing them to Jesus. And so help us come alongside you.
Yes.
I would also say I want to partner with you. And some of our best leaders are actually parents because they get it and they love their kid. They know their kids' friends and they have a heart for them, or they coach and they're just involved. And so they get a lot of things. We have some of our best life group leaders and coaches are parents, and they do an incredible job. And I love that. And also our team is really here. Even last night, we just had youth night, and there's a lot that comes up in the lives of students. And I'm not just thinking about the student for the 4 years. I really want them to be developed in the best way. And so I just want them to know I'm here to partner with you, even far beyond. I'm not just trying to run the program. I want your child to grow in communication, in different skills, in their faith. Like I want them to grow in all of these areas. Please talk with us. We want to be there and partner. Yeah.
It's good.
I would say something similar to that as well. Like we invite students to come in and we want them here, and I think, what we've been able to do is just create some environments for students of all walks of faith to be able to come in and to say, no matter where you're coming from or what you've walked through that day or this past week or year, like you're welcome here. And so I think for a parent that might feel on the fence of bringing their son or daughter that maybe isn't a believer yet, like this is a place for them. If they're a new Christian, this is a place for them. If they've been walking with Jesus for most of their life, this is a place for them, and not only do we want to be a resource to the student, but to the parent as well. Like we know that the parent is the main discipler in the family, but we want to come alongside and say, no, but we want to help you in this process as well. Yeah.
Amazing, you guys. Well, I'm really impressed and I'm so grateful of how well you both are doing. I know you have amazing wives. That is a big part of how you guys are doing so well.
Yep.
True.
In your own homes.
Big.
Thank you, Jesse.
And you have and you have great teams here too that are building just amazing discipleship environments for our teenagers.
Yep.
So thank you guys for that. And for those of us listening, I really hope that this is an episode that you think about that person in your life that's going to become a new dad. Like this, I think, is a really helpful conversation that might just help someone feel a little bit more confident, or maybe they can go, okay, me too. I'm not alone in that feeling or that concern. So an easy one to share also to parents of teenagers, what I would say to you guys as somebody who has been in your shoes and now has a teenager, every season is the best. Every one of them is the best. It gets better, which means it can't always be the best. It is still the best, all right? Whatever season you're in, you get to be present and enjoy your kids as God's gift to you, no matter their age, no matter the rebellion, no matter the attitudes. It's the best. It's the best. If you could just approach it with that posture, God will continue to give you everything you need on the daily. It is like the manna from heaven. Of like, he will give you what you need for that moment, that day, that season, whatever that is. And so, I don't know, for parents of teenagers, I hope that's encouraging for all of us, because it doesn't always feel that way. And yet I do think we have to choose it. We have to wake up and go, no, this is God's gift to me, and this is the best.
Absolutely.
So anyway, thank you for that. Really appreciate all of you guys listening into this. I hope that you got some value out of this, and look forward to seeing you next time.